Let's go. Let's go. We are back again. We're back again. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. What's up, Raider? Well, man. Okay, I see you got the new page set up. What's up? All right, we're going to get into it. Y'all tell you, it's going to be very lit this summer. We about to go into the fall, y'all. So, like I say, man, a lot of things starting to heat up. This is the time of the year where things get a little more serious. It's a closeout. We about to go into the fourth quarter. This is what I mean today. I get to show you what I mean by when I say it's always a lot of stuff going on and it's in layers. And I can't keep up with everything. And you got fake news, real news, distractions. You got some of the realest news ever that comes out and a bunch of nonsense. But being that I know the algorithm, I know how it works. So now y'all all going to get to see this stuff laid out in your face, y'all. Now, remember last week, it was news about how Biggie grandmother is 104 years old, whatever. Remember how a couple weeks ago, Little C's was on YouTube going to Art of Dialogue. So what I know about this game is whenever they start coming out and you start seeing them, something going on. So it is official now, y'all. It is official. And all this stuff is weird. That's why I tell y'all, you never gonna figure it out. Don't even try. It's all weird. As we speak right now, the alleged shooter of Tupac is going to trial, Keefy D. When they say stuff like the people that took out Tupac are the ones that took out Biggie, we don't know about all that. One thing we know is, at the same exact time Keefy D is in court, it was also a court case for Biggie Smalls' estate. Mind you, this has been going on for a minute. We spoke about it before because that lawsuit with Jonathan Hay, the guy that allegedly was working with CJ on the music, boom, 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 I don't know. All I know is, this is the thing, I don't know what's the truth, I don't know what's fact. But allegedly, Faith was trying to get the estate as well. But she didn't get it. Also, it is very important people understand, too, that Ms. Wallace had signed certain paperwork before she passed away. She was dealing with us, whatever. She was just dealing with a different entity. And that entity now has the estate. And by having the estate, they now control Biggie's catalog, name, likeness, and image. So you're going to start seeing a lot more Biggie stuff coming back out. But here you got it, y'all. It's official. It's officially over. These are the things we've been speaking about. I said, to my opinion, Biggie legacy been over. Now, this is the facts. But this is the beautiful part of it. Now that it's all over, you can now make your judgment on the whole Biggie Small legacy. On every key player, everybody that was with him, everybody he made famous, everybody he made rich, everybody that said was his friend. Now you can see how it all panned out in the end, y'all. Because in the end, it ended just like Tupac. The same exact storyline, y'all. So now we also going to look at, when I speak about all of this stuff is fantasy. Now, it's always real stuff going on, but the real stuff is always covered by the fantasy. Now I'm going to show you the things I said in the Art of Going Nowhere specials. Where people think they make it in life, get a lot of money, do a lot of things, but in reality, they always back to where they started from. In reality, they never even escape. Now I want to show you guys, if I ask you today, anybody in this chat right now, how many mansions did Biggie Small have? Well, I got a better one for you. If I ask you a question, where was Biggie Small's mansion at? And I'll wait for a couple minutes. This is very important. Top of the top, we live on the members only, because you know how we do. We about to get into it. See, you've been listening to rap your whole life. I know a lot of people from New York, Brooklyn, you know about Biggie, but I'm asking you again, where was Biggie Small's mansion at? Come on, hip-hop heads. What's up, though, y'all? There you go, Mr. Brown, because you just like me, Mr. Brown. You from New York like me, Mr. Brown, and you don't know. It ain't you don't know, Mr. Brown. Biggie Smalls never had a mansion. He never had one, bro. So sad? Told you, bro, being that we older now, now we going to see this super, super clear. He never had a mansion. Never. If I ask you the same thing about Tupac, y'all, Tupac never owned a mansion neither. Biggie and Tupac's stories are parallel. Don't forget they're the two Geminis. That's on that spiritual level, but in reality, their stories are parallel. In the end, they both didn't own their estate. And they never really had none. It was all smoke and mirrors. The same thing with Biggie and Pop. What's that? Biggie smoked a lot of weed. Pop smoked a lot of weed. Biggie had a lot of women. Pop had a lot of women. You know what that mean now? They were distracted at 20 years old, 24. Very distracted. Same story. They both had chicks and mad bud. Badass females, a lot of weed. A lot of traveling. A lot of party. A lot of shows. A lot of music. But now look at like all that stuff kept them busy. And they had no clue what was going on around them. For one, they were young. Plus, Biggie and Tupac were young in a big ass industry. Also, I think, I always stick to this, I think Biggie and Tupac thought they were going to outsmart the industry. I thought they was on it like they're going to get as much money as they can out of it and do what they want to do. That's how I look at it. Because we know they both, what's other parallel they got people don't get? Because people don't know their history. So this for the young generation, what people don't get. Tupac last album was a double CD. Biggie last album was a double CD. Rumor is both of them was trying to get out their contracts fast as possible to move on. Industry don't work like that. But it doesn't matter what they were doing, what they thought. The house always wins like the casino. The music industry is a casino. They always win. So this is the thing. That $200 million estate is now gone. But see, now that $200 million estate can turn into $1 billion. Because Michael Jackson makes the most money out of all artists that passed away. And if I'm not mistaken, at one point, they said Michael Jackson grows $500 million a year. Unalive. Get it? So all you got to know is Biggie going to generate unalive as well. Now, don't forget, the name and likeness means a lot of things now. Shirts. We're going to start seeing more merch. Now, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. The estate of the notorious Big, Christopher Wallace, is valued at over $200 million. The news just broke today. Within the past 24 hours. The court case is over. Now you got the clues. Your whole time you've been on YouTube, you didn't see nobody covering this case. It's a lot of things you ain't see nobody covering, but nobody made sure they made this Biggie Smalls estate court case a trending topic. Nobody ain't go live. Nobody kept up with it. Nobody kept paying attention. Go to court next. You're going to see this all under the rug. And the court cases started right during the Diddy trial or right before. That whole spectacle of Diddy in jail, all this stuff started last year. Told you last year, the two biggest distractions ever was 2024, Kendrick and Drake, 2025, the Diddy trial. The two biggest distractions damn near in American history. These are facts. All right? Because they were so far away from what was going on. Now y'all able to see. Now you're going to see. All these things I tell you. When you could be from New York City and think you made it. But in reality, y'all, Biggie never made it. He never made it out of New York. This is why I went in all these spills with y'all, guys. It's important. When you get money, know how to move, know where to move at. All that means, when you know how to move with your money, it shows a lot. So when people don't get locations, certain spots, you can tell how their mind is. They never made it. They never made it out, y'all. Told you it's a trap. When you from New York City, but you never leave, you didn't make it like you think you did. Now you got a track record, right? Now look at the track record. All the rappers from New York that so-called made it, but they didn't really make it out. See? Because they were still in that New York trap. That's why I throw it at you, how Jim Jones still stuck in New York, Lil C still stuck in New York. You see what I'm saying? Lil Kim still stuck in New York. Guys, I don't think Lil Kim ever owned a major mansion. Told you, it's a game they play, y'all. Because, see, when you from New York City and you from the ghetto, they can show you a nice house in New Jersey. You think you made it. That's why you're going to see in their whole story, New Jersey. I know the game. In this industry, all the people that they're going to pimp or the people that don't got real money or real control, they ask going to live in Jersey or Atlanta. Because, guys, when you're a real celebrity, you live where you want. And all real celebrities got a home in the Hamptons, definitely Los Angeles. Talking about something called their own. A lot of this stuff was rentals, and I tell you, they didn't make it because the whole time they was in New Jersey. Because in reality, after Biggie died, Lil Kim and them didn't go nowhere because they wasn't letting them. And they had to keep eyes on Miss Wallace, in my opinion, man. So this is Biggie's childhood home. Now, what else am I showing you? Guys, do you know how much this building worth now? Do you know how much Biggie's small old apartment is worth now? You have no clue. This is what I was trying to tell y'all. You can live in a neighborhood somewhere. It's one thing. But see, the fact that they famous, this is what I was telling you with New York. That's why they got all these murals, all these streets, because these are tourist sites. Keep telling my people. We look at this stuff like it's nothing. People come from all over the world just to go see that house, stand right in the front. Take a trip just for that. Pay $1,000 a night to stay in New York just to take some pictures right in front of Biggie house. Then on top of that, the value of that block went up. The value of that building went up. The value of that apartment went up. Do you see this real estate stuff? Do you now see how the crime and violence in the hood was always going to keep stuff low was on purpose, y'all? We could be proud of the ghetto, give the ghetto a name, then they can clean up the ghetto, make the ghetto worth $1 billion. You watching the procedure that happened our whole life. It's called monopoly. But in this case, y'all should already know, the bank always wins. Now, Biggie house is also, this is childhood home. It is now official, a tourist site forever. Now let's go. Now let's go back in reality, y'all. I love to go back to the future. A lot of y'all know what y'all looking at. That's the mansion where they filmed Juicy at. But that wasn't their home. Perpetrating. But it was just a video. It was never their home. You see us in the middle of nowhere? Do you now see how they was always able to do whatever they want? That's a sidebar. When people talk about F Island, it's a lot of islands. You see them woods? This is where they shot Juicy at. But it's another rich man's home. Biggie never had a mansion that he owned, y'all. That's why you gotta do his thing in history. We never heard no story of Biggie buying no mansion. Biggie just buys it. They didn't get a chance to see mansions. And remember, Pac was in debt. Pac had nothing. Pac had nothing. Because everything was in his name. He was in debt. When Pac got out, he was fully in debt. But that's where they filmed Juicy at. Okay? Also, y'all remember the famous cross dress in the video. Let's go. All right? See, I also know other things because I'm older now. When you really look at Biggie Small's first album, they ain't really spend no money on that album. That album was really low budget. It was a low budget. Think about his first album, that with Justin on the cover, that little. Now, you know what I'm saying, y'all? It was really done low budget. It's like it was an experiment to see if it's going to blow up or not. Meaning, you can see now they ain't put a lot of money into that. They didn't. And the truth is, when you see it now, Biggie was getting a lot of money. He was getting a lot of show money. He was getting money, but see that? And remember, they was trying to get out those contracts. So just the other day, I saw Method Man selling his hats. Method Man is another one too, man. This stuff weird. Yeah, a lot of stuff I tell you, y'all don't look at. Method Man got a song with Biggie. Biggie dead. Method Man got a song with Pac. Pac dead. Method Man got songs with Old Dirty Bastard. Old Dirty Bastard dead. See that? Just like Bone Thugs and Harmony. They got a song with Biggie. They got a song with Pac and Pun. So, like I say, it just be weird to me to see all this stuff, how everybody else's career goes on. But at the same time, it's certain artists. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to see it's all over. It's all over now, y'all, that we know of. Now, this is another part. This is an apartment where Biggie stayed at. Like after Biggie blew up and got his money, he had a crib in Fort Greene. This where he was living at in Fort Greene, y'all. My people from New York, can you finally see what I've been telling you? How you get this money, you a star, but you still in New York. You're not really getting engaged and indulging your success. You still seeing the same life. But in your mind, remember, you're 20 years old from Brooklyn. You made it in the game. In your mind, you made it. Because what else they knew? They were still young. So they give them apartment, house. They don't care. They be all right. Also, don't forget, Biggie was rolling with Junior Mafia. They was always super deep. That's something else a lot of y'all don't understand that wasn't around that time. Biggie was always super deep with his whole clique. They was always up his ass 24/7. Super deep wherever they went at. He never had a chance to enjoy success. He barely probably had time to be by himself. Now I want y'all to see. He never really made it for real. See that? This is apartment in Fort Greene. Biggie never had a mansion, y'all. I don't think Biggie ever even had penthouses in New York, in Manhattan. Because remember, y'all, the game went so quick. The game went so quick. See, it went so quick. You got to look at all that touring, all that partying, all that writing, all that studio. He ain't had time to take care of a lot of stuff. See, he ain't had time. He didn't. You can see it now. Boom. This is the apartment complex that they lived in. He lived in New Jersey. This is Biggie's New Jersey apartment complex. Now, my people to this day, y'all know nowadays that don't look exclusive. That look like something you'll live at and go back and forth to work. Now, it is exclusive. It is nice because it got the what? The garage. Now, let's rewind to the 90s. Now, in the 90s, it looked way more exclusive than what it look now. Plus, in the 90s, don't forget, you young from Brooklyn, and now they tell you you got this spot in New Jersey, and your mind is super exclusive. Now, for a rapper, it's cool. It's a nice low spot because you can hide your cars in that garage. But being that we're grown, y'all, we know in reality, that ain't really nothing. Now, mind you, this is where Biggie was living at. This is the house where they found all the guns at because Biggie had an open charge before he went down. Before he died, he had an open charge. This is the house they found all the guns at. And you can look at it now like he might have got set up. And he also said, I saw the report, they said people told, they basically people saying, it ain't mine, this ain't my house. Meanwhile, they the ones had all the guns in there. And they found one of C murder guns in there. I think it was a Mac 11 or something. Yeah. So Biggie was already set up, y'all. So it looked like Pac. Pac had an open case. Biggie had an open case. Both had open case when they died. But now, can you see the finesse, y'all? Can you see the finesse of the energy? Like, when you young, you Biggie, you think you made it. They say, yeah, you got this house in Jersey. Remember he rapped about it, y'all? Got the crib in New Jerusalem. Well, he had a little spot. That's one of the spots, but I'm just showing you. In reality, this ain't no spot for no damn rapper. That shit got regular company people. That ain't no low-key spot. That's an apartment complex. That's a townhome complex. But when you from New York City and you from the North, you going to go for that because you don't know no better. Meanwhile, you can go any other state, get something better than that, secluded, no neighbors, no nothing. That's an apartment complex, y'all. And that's the apartment. Somehow the police popped up. They got caught with all them guns. Showing you, Biggie never made it for real, y'all. Can y'all see it now? He ain't never make it. He ain't never make it. He ain't never make it. Because now you can see all his money was still being made. He didn't have a time. He didn't really have a chance to spend his money like that. Get it? Meaning a home purchase. He never Biggie. See, you gotta use your brain, y'all. He never had chance to complete his albums, sit back and chill. Time to buy the house now. Put out Ready to Die, Life After Death. I done wrote these albums. I done did all this work, Junior Mafia. I can finally cash out, buy my home. I've been touring. He ain't get a chance to do that. Same thing with Pop. Y'all seeing it now? All right. Meaning, his estate was really hidden the whole time. The 200 million was something you couldn't see. You get it? Because it wasn't a lot of purchases. See, also remember, Miss Wallace old school. Miss Wallace might have been stacking that money, you know what I'm saying? Just meaning, got the money put up, just living a regular life, got the taking care, you know what I'm saying? Not, Miss Wallace older, what that means? She ain't buying stuff like that. So if Miss Wallace older, she ain't just going around buying Maybach, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, spending mad money. She probably pitching off like a regular person, still got her pension, was a teacher, living a regular life, you know what I'm saying? So that money was really just sitting. That's what I mean. It's not circulating. It's just sitting right there. Meanwhile, it's a game. This was a stall-out game. Meaning, okay, when Miss Wallace passed, somebody going to get it anyway. And you better get this part. His daughter, nothing. 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 His flesh and blood has nothing. Nothing. Not even CJ. The Notorious Big and D-Rock photographed in their first condo in Teaneck, New Jersey, 1996. So you got it right here. This after Ready to Die, Biggie just purchased his first condo in 96. The house he got caught with guns at. His first condo. Some of us are in condos now. See that, y'all? This is what I wanted y'all all to understand, my people from the cities. Guys, when you're from the city, you're going to think a condo is exclusive. But in reality, y'all, it's just like a different design apartment. When you blow up in New York City, you get money, and you just move to New Jersey. It's no different from you blow up. You finally made in LA, but all you do is go buy a house in Vegas. It's the same thing. It's really not no successful place to live. You get what I'm saying? You can live anywhere you want. Fence, backyard, swimming pool, gated community. Biggie didn't have that. Biggie was in a condo. Now, but also remember this. You're 24 years old, 23. In your mind, 23, 24. We got that. We good. I got apartment, house, condo, I got garages. In your mind, you doing your thing, but on a bigger scale. Give him something to keep him pacified. Give him something. Get something look nice. Because remember, Brooklyn ghetto. So when you come from Brooklyn ghetto and you go to this part of New Jersey where it's at, you hear birds chirping, nobody outside. You think it's exclusive, but in reality, this is something any one of us will live in right now. See that? And I'm pretty sure the fact that Biggie lived out there, I'm pretty sure that apartment could charge even more money. Now it's more exclusive because Biggie used to live there. See? So now they can have a gate around it and say the rent $5,000 a month. You know that's the neighborhood Biggie used to live at, right? That's how it plays out. Nowadays, doctors, lawyers got little cribs out there. You see what I'm saying? There you got it. There you have it. Let's keep it going. See, D-Rock? It's also said a lot of things to said about him, y'all. He went with Lil Kim in the end. Now, people got to understand, D-Rock was supposed to be his best friend. Basically, the general of Junior Mafia as well. He was with Biggie the night he died in the car. He was still hanging with Puff after that. He started messing with Lil Kim after Biggie died. Having sexual relations with Lil Kim. And he was at Biggie's house when Biggie got caught all the guns. And the word is his own friend said, this ain't my house. Because people know the law. If the police come to somebody's house, whoever house that is, that's their gun. Mind you, even though y'all can leave y'all guns in the house, you threw your gun, put in my drawer, you put one under my bed, I'll get in trouble for all of them. That's how it was. Yes, that's the law. That's what they did to Biggie. Yeah. And when they came to the house, they were smoking mad weed. So they had open cases. And after that, they went to LA. Something like that. See it now, y'all? Biggie had no clue what was going on. Biggie was young. See, it's the fact that we were grown young. We grown at 16. We grown at 17. So by the time you were 24, you like a grown-ass man. You got 7 years in the street, 8 years. So you'll see, but in reality, he was 24, 25. Now, also, guys, you use this as a measurement to nowadays. You see how nowadays we be talking about they youngsters, youngins at 24, they be 25, 23. We treat them like little babies. No, man. You see Faith? Faith was put on Biggie, y'all. How you know that? You seen after the fact. We all know no Biggie tributes were ever given. No real interviews. We leaving all that alone. We don't care about that. We don't care about this, period. We just looking at the aftermath. Faith was in position the whole time. She was the main one with Miss Wallace. But it was a game. She'll be with Miss Wallace, and then sometimes Lil Kim and Lil C's be with Miss Wallace, Junior Mafia. But at the end of the day, Faith allegedly was fighting for the estate, allegedly. And allegedly, she didn't get it neither. Allegedly. But that could have been her plan. Nobody knows. See, she could have thought, long as she be cool with Miss Wallace, she going to get it. Let's go. Faith Evan loses major ruling in notorious big estate fight. She lost. Faith was trying to get it, y'all. Now, you better understand something that we don't know exactly what's going on. It's a man by the last name of Barrow. I think that's Sean last name on top of that. It could be Sean people's got it. I don't know. But the facts is this. She thought because she had little CJ, Biggie's son, I think she thought she was going to get it. Or, don't get it twisted. It can still play out as she lost, and they can break her off money somewhere else. Long story short, Faith ain't getting nothing. We also know she was with Stevie J after Biggie died. Wayne Barrow Trust has gained control over Biggie's catalog in a court ruling, leaving Faith Evans on the losing end of a legal battle. A big case, y'all. This played out like it was nothing. Shh. See that? And don't forget, Clyde dead, Diddy in prison. Meaning, according to this story, Clyde Davis said this also means that Clyde Davis ain't get a chance to cash out on Biggie legacy neither. Got it? Now, the only thing is, the truth is, we don't know if Diddy got any connections with Wayne Barrow. We don't know that. But as of now, we'll say Diddy has no access to this neither. Long story short, y'all, here's your proof. Biggie catalog is under somebody's ownership. He don't have no property. He got money. See, a lot of big stuff ain't just assets. In favor of Barrow's trust, which hold assets from Biggie's late mother, Valletta Wallace, the judge declared the trust to be legitimate member of the LLC that co-owns the rapper's music. Wow. The thing that shocked me, y'all, was how quiet this was. Man, these people are serpents, y'all. They are serpents. They've been keeping this quiet since last summer. Now do you get what I tell you about this bogus, fake-ass black media? I spit in their face, y'all. For the simple fact that they pick and choose like we little kids when it comes to information and media. You see what I'm saying? But I just wanted y'all all to get, it's all over now. This is the year everybody falling on their face, the big cash out, everybody going broke. They need this money quick. And they need that big estate money. Everybody's sinking, man. Everybody's sinking. Plus, his stock going down. So here you got it. The two greatest rappers everybody argue about don't even have nothing. No legacy. No nothing. Catalog and likeness rights. As a result, this decision means Faith Evans cannot exclude Barrow and the Wallace estate from the proceeds of the primary wave music deal. This dispute arose after, so this is what happened. Faith and Miss Wallace had percentages. And I think Faith tried to get all the percentages. Because Miss Wallace was in a deal with this guy Barrow. Because remember, Miss Wallace, she ain't know nothing. She got the estate, she don't know what to do with it. So when people talking about, okay, Miss Wallace, we can flip this estate, make some money, but the estate. We know, they probably say, we're going to take care of the kids. Don't worry, Miss Wallace, we're going to flip this money. We're going to take care of the estate. Meanwhile, she's older, she passed away. Now this person got access to it. Meanwhile, Faith Evan there, she trying to get her percentages for little CJ, her percentages. That's what the fight was over. So I think she tried to get it all for herself, and that's what she lost. All right. Meanwhile, Faith and his other entity is not Biggie's blood. Y'all know that part. And y'all know little CJ is a fairy. Y'all know Biggie real daughter's supposed to get something out of this. His daughter's alive. So you're going to see the same thing like with Whitney's daughter. All right, let's go. We ain't playing with them. No, it's history now. Didn't I tell Lil Kim ashamed of herself? That's right. Lil Kim going to suffer forever, y'all. She going to suffer forever. That's why Lil Kim has not been happy she ain't been happy since Biggie died. She has not been happy. Little Kim and Faith Evans put their differences aside to attend Valletta Wallace's funeral. Now, did Biggie Small mother funeral go viral? Did everybody talk about Biggie Small's funeral like they talked about Nipsey funeral? You know what I'm saying? Did they talk about Miss Wallace's funeral like they did XXX, Angie Stone? No, because there's money. They put their differences to the side. No, it's called they played their role. They had to play a role. They had to play a role from before Biggie died to after Biggie died. Biggie was their burden for all these goddamn years. That's why I told you now the ghost of Big ain't over yet. Y'all watching this Pac stuff, that Biggie stuff ain't over yet neither. And they getting older. You know what that means? More pressure on their heart. They will not live in glory, y'all. You see it? You see how it's playing out? Told you they witches. Whole life waiting on that money. Whole life playing roles. Now they sinking, looking to form. Now they exposing the demons they are. Told you it ain't just Diddy, y'all. And if it was Diddy, those was his henchmen. Those was his workers. Because one thing you know for a fact, they both turned on Biggie. Don't even get it twisted. That fight with Charlie Baltimore also represents all three of them turned on him before he died. Those are facts. Those are facts. Those are facts. Told y'all Mace been playing these people. Mace been playing their ass online, y'all. Y'all know that. Mace is a sucker. They say Biggie ain't like Mace. Better get it right. A lot of them Harlem people, they didn't like Biggie. Gene told you he didn't like Biggie like that at first. There was a lot of stuff going on. Meaning, not saying they hated Big. They ain't had no love for Big like that. They didn't. And it was about favorites. Mace played the same role of Biggie. Kind of like how Snoop Dogg and Pop. Because they forget, Mace was trying to be big at that time. Mace was wearing number 2. But Biggie had no love for Mace. But people that had love for Mace ain't had no love for Biggie. That's why I told you that whole thing with Cam is fugazi. No, y'all, they all played a role online. When I told all of y'all, they made them come online. See, we looking at it like Mace and Cam together. No, somebody could have made them make up and get together and come online, y'all. Because all these goddamn narratives had to be covered up. All these narratives had to be controlled. All these things had to be covered up and covered up and covered up with nonsense and BS. Meanwhile, they know it's a big cash out in the end. Distract. Then I tell you all they people's in trouble. Russell Simmons in trouble. Diddy in trouble. The money's gone. The state's getting froze. You see what I'm saying? Things getting real. So they come here with all this play. Like we really care like that. We don't care. We just know what it is. They thought they was going to keep lying to the end, y'all. But we don't care. We just know them for who they are. Mace, Lil Kim, Faith, Evans, and more attend the funeral of Biggie's mom, Valetta Wallace. Did you see any real coverage on when Biggie Small's mom died? It was like she died, get out of here, pack it up real quick. Don't, mom, just get it out of here. The money. She died March 13th. Diddy trial. Diddy trial started that May. She died right before the trial started. Ever since she died, they were straight in court fighting for that bread. This shit is sad. You know why? Miss Wallace had a bunch of snakes around her, y'all, from day one. That shit's sad. You know why it's sad? It's sad, y'all. Fam, you see how they play with that man's mother like that? You see how they play? I swear, if I was one of Biggie's family members, y'all, they played with that man's mother, y'all. They are some wicked, demonic, serpent bastards, y'all, that still had a nerve to show their face like they somebody to be proud of. Now, Faith lay low, Lil Kim lay low, but for some reason, Picklehead, snicker-eating Mace somehow think his face is good, y'all. Somehow he thinks his face is so good. When he ran, it was a front. All that shit was a front, y'all. Because I want you to see it now. They knew they was never going back to gangster rap anyway at that time. And that's why after that, Diddy started doing MTV. They knew they wasn't doing gangster rap no more. The same cycle I'm telling y'all happening now when I say, guys, no more gangster rap. I also know that's what happened back in the day. Yeah, when Biggie died, that's where you're going to see music started getting more poppy. They went into the Jiggy era. Then this guy named Eminem came out, a white rapper. And then things went lyrical, miracle, and things got off that gangster. Got to pay attention to what happened. So yeah, y'all, told they all snakes and serpents, devils and demons. They also are some of the people that made, guys, all these things I've been seeing online what these past years are what made me start judging black people for who they are, y'all. Like, bro, you can't keep going your whole life without acknowledging who these people really are, bro. It's some good people, but you know, bro, you know the truth from a teenager little boy that most of these people are evil, corrupt, and fucking wicked. And they either going to make you do something to them or they're going to piss you off. So you have to leave them alone, brother, because they ain't shit. Do you see Lil C's? Do you see them smiling at Miss Wallace's funeral? They're at a funeral, y'all. But see, with Junior Mafia, as long as they get shine off Biggie, they straight. Then Lil Kim goes in active mode. The only shine they got throughout the years was off the Biggie legacy, but they only was able to fulfill the Biggie legacy when Puff say so. Do you see Lil C's and them smiling at Miss Wallace's funeral? That C got in the middle. Mind you, all them niggas got Biggie caught with guns. So Biggie was going to jail anyway. Now looking like they could have been the one set Biggie ass up from day one. No, y'all, they ain't shit. I spit in all their face. That's why we been calling them Judas Mafia. But they ain't think I be from Brooklyn and trash their ass. I ain't from Bed-Stuy. That's where they from. Where I'm from, y'all, we don't get down like that. Nope. And we ain't thirsty for money like them. That's that Bed-Stuy stuff. Nah. We very heavy on loyalty where I'm from. Go watch the movie Goodfellas. It starts off in East New York. And they talk about loyalty, not snitching. I was taught all that from young. That's my hood. That's my neighborhood. My neighborhood is deeply tied with mafia behavior. That's what that means. That's how we grew up. Certain orders and rules. Look out for the people. Look out for your community. Love your friends. Love your family. And don't play with no enemies. So I don't know about them, y'all. No, they are motherfuckers that did anything for money, y'all. Because Biggie made their career, y'all. If that man never sat with a pen and wrote nothing for them, they wouldn't even be standing there. But you see what they gave him in the end. And you see, the Art of Dialogue made sure they gave all them interviews. What else they don't think I know? Well, Little Sean works at Art of Dialogue. Little Sean is the one that was at the studio when Pac came and Pac got his ass smoked. Little Sean was in the studio with Puff and them and Lil C's. Lil Sean works with Art of Dialogue. Excuse me. No. Little Sean works with Vlad. Lil Sean worked with Vlad. My bad. But a lot of Bad Boy and affiliates, you see them all go through what? Art of Dialogue as well. But Little Sean that was in the studio when Pac got shot up, he worked with Vlad. Yes. So that's why you'll always see certain people from that era sitting down on that platform. When people like Lil C shouldn't even have a goddamn voice. Then you're going to see when they come on the platform, they ask them candy cane questions. Because they all knew this whole time Miss Wallace was in court for that estate. Meaning, they knew that Miss Wallace had that estate and they knew she had already died. And you ain't going to hear not one question about Miss Wallace's death. I didn't even know they was at the funeral. I ain't know nothing about this. Meanwhile, they had all these interviews, all these people on the platform. Now look at it like goddamn damage control. Now look at it like distractions. No, y'all, they're exposed. They're exposed. They're exposed. If Biggie was my family, I'd smoke Lil C's ass. I'd pistol whip his ass if Biggie was my people's. Straight up. Straight up. Biggie thought that was his best friend, y'all. Can you now see this, guys? This is what I want y'all to learn, man. Please learn this shit. You don't owe the hood nothing. You don't owe black people shit, y'all. It's a trick and a trap for your ass to die and lose it all. This is what I've been figured out in my own life. It's for real, y'all. You can love your day ones, your friends. They become other people. You don't even know it. You still thinking it ain't like that. It ain't like that. That's why in Biggie and Tupac, it's the same Judas story. Because for the people to get you, it take the ones that are closest to you. That's why I keep telling y'all, you can't blame who's guilty, who's this, who's that. You can't, because you don't know who did what. You don't know, meaning you don't know who set the illest traps. You don't know who did the major conspiring. You don't know who helped connect dots. There's a lot of stuff. You don't know who gave intel. You see what I'm saying? When they got the nerve to still show their face. No, y'all. I told you hip-hop make you a big-ass fucking kid. Look how Lil Kim and Lil C's got their 50 still like big-ass fucking kids. Because they never could expand on their career without Puff. Puff controlled their ass. Ever since Biggie died, he controlled their ass. He gonna tell them when to perform. He gonna tell them when they ain't. He gonna tell them when to make them interviews. He gonna tell them how to carry the whole thing. But they were the eyes on Miss Wallace. No, they were the eyes on that estate. And they never left New York, y'all. They never made it out of New York. This is why I was telling y'all, I love New York. I love my cities, my towns, Brooklyn, Queens, man. Bro, but I've been smart a long time ago, y'all. I've been put in my head, I'm not dying there. I'm not going to suffer there. I'm not going to be loyal to them streets. Because in the end, you're going to be trapped there. You're going to be a grown-ass man, grown-ass woman. You're going to take care of yourself. You're going to be fucking struggling. And you never made it out. You never seen life, y'all. They are prisoners of New York State. That's why they never got out. And they never getting out. Never. That's for her, Mano, Jim Jones, Fabulous. They all stuck, y'all. But now y'all got it, right? All you going to watch now is them suffer to the day they leave this earth. And they will forever drown in misery and guilt. Let's go. Valletta Wallace, big turnout for funeral. Faith, Mace, Lil Kim, Biggie, and Diddy kids. Biggie died March 9th. Goddamn, his mother's funeral was March 12th, 3 days after goddamn her son died. Goddamn, I ain't even know that. Told you it was low-key quiet. How am I online every day? I didn't even notice. Because they didn't promote it. It wasn't viral. They wasn't blogging. TMZ did, but nobody else was. Miss Wallace's funeral was 3 days after her son died. See Mace there? Disrespect. Biggie ain't like Mace. See that? Mace need to get his face smacked off too. See that? On YouTube. Cheesing and smiling like everything a joke, him and Cam. Meanwhile, Biggie daughter is left to suffer. And his original baby mother. Everybody forget that part. Because everybody's an industry. Sucker, Faith, Lil Kim. They forget about the normal woman with the child that has nothing. Mace has the nerve to laugh. So I told you, Mace was always a Philly with Diddy. His ass was in Atlanta. When Pimp C told us he was playing with goddamn trans, I believed it then, and it all makes sense now. Because every time Diddy was in Atlanta, they was all down there together. Plus, Diddy lived in Florida the whole time. They were always together. All right? So that's why I keep telling y'all what Cameron said, that they found the dildo in the house. They always been together. These punk fairies, all they did, the whole Bad Boy legacy, the whole shit, all they did was act like they had beef, but there never was no goddamn beef. Everybody that was affiliated with goddamn Biggie Smalls staged fake beefs, and they all went into actor mode after Biggie died to separate themselves from the scene of the goddamn crime. All right? But when it's all said and done and we not looking, they all together again. Because they played a game. And all of them right there going to bounce to the beat of goddamn Puff. They know what's up. Goddamn Puff and Mace was lovers. We knew that back then. Wendy Williams been told you that. Mace still there. All right? So what are they talking about, y'all? Ain't no glory, y'all. Mace gonna get his too, y'all. He gonna get his too. They gonna get all this by going broke. All right? That's why Mace them channel gonna slow up. So, Clyde is gone. Diddy's in jail. Biggie estate is gone. And the thing that's funny, right? Clyde passed away right before the trial was over. Another thing, we never gonna know what's gonna happen to all those catalogs that he got, that Clyde had. So I'm saying we ain't gonna know a lot of stuff. But y'all got this part. Y'all got this. 200 million gone. That means we saw his grandmother, when they want to tell you they play the fans, they play the hell out the fans. They're posting his grandmother is 104 years old. Meanwhile, his family in Jamaica is not getting a goddamn penny. They knew that shit, man. They knew. They'd have got that estate, man. They could have built part of Jamaica up. When the smoke cleared and we older, he didn't even own a mansion. Biggie never had a mansion, y'all. Never did. And that's why I asked y'all, did he really make it out the hood? It was all a dream. He never really made it. The furthest Biggie went was New Jersey, y'all. Far as living, Biggie never had no mansion, y'all. He didn't have no mansion in the Hamptons. That was Puff. This shit's sad for real, y'all. It's sad. And it really, to me, it shows all the evils I already knew about. So for me, a lot of this stuff trips me out because all the evils and things that went on in my stomach, y'all know how you always got gut feelings and all this wicketry. Mind, because my story, like the story of Biggie and Pop, it ain't just no rap story. It applies to real life, the stuff we were going through and the stuff we were facing and all the different things around us. So Biggie had his characters around him. Pop had his characters, but I had my characters around me. You see what I'm saying? You had characters around you playing these roles. And I'll tell you all, man, it was always like that, y'all. If you was the one that was going to win, if you was the smart one, the talent one, if you was the one that had the ability to make it out your life and be something great, I don't give a damn what it was. It was always people around you to make sure it's not going to happen, y'all. That's why I told you the real journey is a lonely road to be successful. I'm telling y'all from experience. And that's why I'm not playing. I don't play with these people no more. Because they vicious, they demonic, they serpents, y'all. And they are who they are. Because once they started pursuing those riches, that's it. That's when they lost it all. And they didn't know the devil's game. The devil always wins. Always. Always. You see what I'm saying? Always, y'all. So you got to know that. And that's why I tell them, if you ain't ready for it, don't play with it. Because now they all going to burn. They going to burn. We're going to watch them burn too. See, when celebrities burning in hell on earth, it's called they be broke, doing bad, struggling. They features start disappearing. That's right. Lil' Kim, see, I'm going to show you how this shit work. Lil' Kim power and energy was her beauty. Oh, she's so cute. Her beauty fading. That's her punishment. You will forever walk the earth looking like a weirdo. That's her hell. See what I'm saying, y'all? Her beauty has faded. That's right. She officially a goddamn witch. That's how it work, y'all. This shit for real. It's for real, y'all. Understand that. Understand that, please. Miss Wallace was a so-called Christian woman, so-called teacher, so-called a positive woman, but she had no clue. She had all them serpents around her. And I always say this one thing. This the sad part too. Because even if Miss Wallace knew everything was going on, it was nothing she could do about it, y'all. So I looked at it like, yo, Miss Wallace could be in the house one day just looking at their ass like, I know y'all bastards killed. You know what I'm saying? They said mother's intuition, right? But now I want you to think it was nothing Miss Wallace was going to say or do anyway. Miss Wallace could have been terrified out of her freaking life. Terrified. You older. Where's she going at? People popping up on her. People calling her, come on, Miss Wallace. What the hell she going to do? No, and God, look, like I say, mothers ain't stupid. You think Miss Wallace believe all them hip-hop rap stories? You think she believe that? No mother ain't trying to hear nothing about their son dying without no facts and proof. Meaning, y'all his friends and nobody know nothing. No mother go for that shit, y'all. That's just reality. Because I know plenty of people that pass in the streets, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no mother going for that. It's never over, goddammit. And until I got proof, I ain't cool with none of y'all. That's how real mothers be. Until I find out slay my son, I don't see none of y'all face. Miss Wallace ain't had that option. Or Miss Wallace, another Biggie Small reunion. No, Miss Wallace, you ain't getting low dipping off going back to Jamaica around your family. Hell no. See that? This was a grind, y'all. It was a grind. These people play for keeps, y'all. It's the same thing with their marriages. They'll wait and wait and wait. One day somebody got to pass away and somebody got to take over that estate. This is how generational wealth built. Somebody just started their access to generational wealth from Biggie Small's estate. And we're going to leave it at that, y'all. Now y'all all got this part. It's all closing out together. That's what I said. It's going to be so much better, y'all. I promise. When all this Biggie stuff gone and Tupac stuff, these dark entities from this dark era, they ass going to drive into a dark portal. They're going to all disappear. Man, them fools going to start catching strokes. Them fools going to start getting sick. Them fools going to start suffering, y'all. It's going to happen. And it's all going to be from self-infliction. Now you see why they hide? Now y'all got it right here. Little C's and them smiling at Miss Wallace's funeral. Smiling. I thought at funerals you'd be sad, y'all. That's what I thought. They're at the funeral smiling. See little C's? See the guy in the back? Man, they just happen to be on camera. Smiling at a funeral. So little C's, he was in the car where Biggie got smoked. Biggie mother dead. He's sitting there smiling. At a funeral smiling, y'all. If my homie got killed in front of me, his mom dead, I'm just going to be smiling. All right, I ain't shed no tear, but I'm at least probably be sad or mad. He's smiling like a little bitch, y'all, because he don't care. All right, y'all. Now y'all got it, man. Hopefully everybody learned from this. It's just a part of life. Biggie never made it, y'all. Now you see why Biggie Smalls' dream was sold. Biggie Smalls gonna fail, and everybody chasing his dream gonna fail. Just like Tupac. They never understood the real part. Everybody never understand, like I say, Scarface dies in the end. Meaning, you always gonna be taught to look up to these heroes. In the end, they're gonna die, and they're always gonna die penniless and broke, which always gonna be the proof they would never nobody to look up to anyway, because they were never the face or proof of success. From the Juicy video, this property wasn't theirs. Biggie had no property, y'all. Biggie had no property. When he was a rapper, this is one of his apartments in New York, Fort Greene, Brooklyn. This one of his apartments, y'all. This and this. He probably had other spots, but he ain't had no mansion. He ain't have his own property, y'all. So what else we got? I don't even think Biggie brought his mother a mansion when it first popped off. Because y'all got to look at how time was going so fast. Puff got him in the studio. In the studio, making music, going on tour. Remember back then they had to do videos, award shows, write for other people. He ain't had time to do nothing. Biggie had time to focus. Blunt after blunt after blunt. Bad chick, blunts, pussy, black blunt. That's what I'm saying? Back, you see it now, right? Blunts, blow all this fire, smoking weed, all these bad chicks around. They not focused for real. A lot of weed and a lot of chicks mean not focused, y'all. It's in the Tupac story. Even though Tupac, you hear the story, he's knocking out songs, but he still ain't focused. So while he's knocking out songs, he got to use his brain. Why he, with the chicks, he's so sad. Meanwhile, they still doing everything except for being focused on what they got to do for their life. They on the treadmill, meaning they going nowhere. A lot of movement, but they ain't going nowhere. See, running around the city, going here, interviews at the station, doing this, doing that. Still, you just going in circles. You ain't going nowhere. Pop never made it. Pop was in bondage ever since he got out of prison. Pop was in more bondage when he got out than before he went in. And he was never getting off neither because he still was on the pill. Got it? So he was facing time, Big facing time. Which means if they both didn't die, they both probably was going to go to jail anyway. And you'll see they both died the same way. They didn't own nothing. Not for real. Got it? So now, y'all, we're going to close out on this. Like I said, I'm happy this energy is going to be behind us. But I had to show y'all. Because this was the biggest secret ever. This just happened. The estate of Notorious Big Wallace is valued at $200 million. And now y'all got the facts. So, like I said, on this members only, y'all will be getting all exclusives. Faith Evans loses major ruling in Notorious Big estate fight. So as y'all get all the real breaking news, now y'all can watch everybody be late, tap dance, and do what they do. That's all you got to know. But we closing this out, y'all. I probably will never speak about Biggie again unless it goes back to court. Something like that happens. Other than that, I ain't talking about this no more. I have nothing else to say. It's a dark chapter in my life and a lot of us. It's just time to be over. These were the curses on us, y'all. These were the curses upon us. Yes, they were. They were part of the curses put on us. Well, I threw it at y'all earlier. When a child is born in this world and they're taught about these two dead rappers, the story of Biggie and Tupac is the story of death. Remember, y'all, we were young. We wasn't taught the story of death. But I knew Bruce Lee was dead. Bob Marley was dead. They was the same lifestyle, but not like this. This was dead praising. And it had to be taught in every black household. And Biggie and Tupac was in everybody's household, just like a picture of Jesus was. And every child in the ghetto born had to be taught about Biggie and Tupac. But you're not looking at when you're young, it actually kills your spirit. Because it's a story about these guys that made it so great with so much talent, but they got slaughtered and never made it. The whole story is a story of failure, y'all. That's why I say the whole story is a curse. It's a curse, y'all. It's a curse. That's what it is. And that's why nobody loved the story like black people do. And in every ghetto, every city where black people at, they know the story of Biggie and Pop. They ain't gonna know no other story like this, but they gonna know these stories because they didn't know it was gonna be their damn religion. You got it? Now you see why I made all the jokes, religion of Tupac? It's for real, y'all. It's for real. Then they took the two formulas, gave it to Jay-Z. When they understood, in hip-hop, they're gonna be praised. Hip-hop will be manufactured as a religion, a cult, a culture of death. So now you got it, right? I'm glad this shit gone. Remember when I told y'all, right? Don't forget, they were the curses put on. This the man that bankrolled this shit. His ass in the ground now. He bankrolled the whole situation. He was the puppet master. He was the devil himself. What you thought? He put that spirit among all their communities. All right. We're going to close out. Y'all enjoy y'all day. I'll holler at y'all soon. And that's where we at with it, y'all. So now y'all got it all. Oh, yeah, you see this Notorious Big 1997? Somebody been already making pages in Biggie name. People getting paid off Biggie name right now. But see, what's happening is it ain't going to win. It ain't going to trend. His estate ain't going to make no real money. Not for real. All right? So now y'all got this thing, man. We closing out the past, go to the future. At the same time, letting people see the clarity that wasn't around, or being that you're older now, you will look at it from another angle. And it's all part of growing up. Understand that we all been faced with many different type of adversity, and everybody wasn't fortunate to move on with their life. So this is why we can't be hypocrites no more and really act like this gangster rap was so good when it wasn't. See that? Y'all see that part, right? Okay. Gangster rap was not none of the music we grew up with. The music that was supposed to bring us together made us don't like each other. Made us disrespect each other. Made us fight over it. And made people die over it. On that note, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening, y'all day, y'all night. I'll see y'all in the morning on the live. And once again, y'all, we are up out of here. I appreciate y'all all for tapping in. Y'all know what's up. We out. One.